Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Nze omubejja luwedde Lilian mbaniriza maka gaffe amajja era nga wano tugenda okuba nga tukolera programu yaffe emanyiddwa nga The Voltage gaba masannyalaze gennyini era nga twogera ku bintu ebyenjawulo omwo nno mwe muli ebigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga, ensonga z'ebyobufuzi n'obukulembeze bw'eggwanga Uganda, twogera ku nsonga ez'abavubuka, eddembe ly'obuntu awamu n'ebyenkulaakulana. Togisubwa buli lunaku olwokutaano eba ssaawa emu ey'akawungeezi paka ssaawa 3 ez'ekiro.
The Diaspora Link buli lwakuna sawa 11 paka sawa emu ey'olweggulo ye program gye tukuleetedde wano ku Alternative Digital Uganda. Tugenda batutunulira embeera z'Abannayuganda baganda baffe bannyinaffe zibawangaaliramu mu mawanga ag'ebunaayira. Bangi banyigirizibwa, bangi bakosebwa, bangi bayisiddwamu amaaso. Naye tugenda batutunulira engeri gye tusobola okulongosaamu embeera zaabwe. Tugenda kuba tulaba abo abakwatibwako abateekeddwa okuba nga balongoosa embeera zino eno. Tosubwa buli lwakuna n'omuweerezaawo Nixon Segawa.
Hello everyone, my name is Abdulatif and I welcome you to the Hotline Show here at the Alternative Dig Talk as we discuss issues of national importance. Join us every Monday 7 to 9 p.m. and see who will be occupying these seats here with us. Keep it Dig Talk, real issues, real talk.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Dig Talk. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Dig Talk. Dig Talk, the way to go.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
It is exactly 5 minutes past 7 a.m. It is a Thursday. Good morning. Kosase is still making investigations, and right now we are finding out that the locomotives that costed 48 billion were 8-year-old locomotives, and yet the Parliament and the statutory organs had actually allowed the procurement manager of the Uganda Railway Corporation to procure a 6-year-old locomotive that would actually cost 36 billion. Now, the procurement officer has been handed over to the police to find out exactly where did he get these figures and this money and the type of locomotives that he actually bought that are not even working on the railway plates of Uganda. Then in our other story, we have on what is happening in Kasese and Nakaseke. There are still some bomb threats that are there. Apparently, yesterday 2 bombs lightened up in those particular areas. We're not yet sure if there were bombs or there were other devices, but the problem still remains is the security problem in this country. We have had bomb blasts, as I told you before. We had pangas in the Greater Masaka region. Then we came through and we had fires coming out. Then we have bombs coming out. That is the challenge. There is a lot of insecurity that is hovering all over Uganda. Good morning. Welcome to the Mighty Drive. My name is Edgar Matthew Karuhanga. It is, of course, the 11th day of November 2021. Today on the show, we are having Mr. Augustine Ojobile. Augustine Ojobile is the spokesperson of the People's Front for Transition and precisely the SWAM. The SWAM are the young people in this particular entity, and Rogers and Lillian will be having a discussion with him right here asking him questions about them as the young people in the PFT, what are their plans, and of course, is PFT a viable solution to ousting President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni? They've tried different alliances, but up to now, these particular alliances have not yielded results. Special shout outs to everybody who's watching today, and it's always a pleasure to know that you wake up at 7 a.m. To be informed and of course to watch the alternative Dig Talk and in precisely the mighty drive. Now Rogers is going to be joining Lillian right here, as I've told you, and the man on camera today is none other than Mukose Arnold Anthony. He's the program's director, but of course he can still play around with the cameras. And of course Teddy Tenjo is the producer of the day, and Jeremiah Muchibi is the director. Thank you so much. That is the team that makes sure that you are served each and every day. No man to him, so thank you so much for watching, Farida Bikobere and the rest of the people. There is Isma, there is a lot of guys that watch every morning. Thank you so much for watching. It's a pleasure to have you on the alternative Dig Talk. Remember, we are proudly powered by Praise Property Consultants. Now, what Praise Property Consultants does is that they deal in everything land. You want to acquire land, you want to sell land, and they have land at all the outskirts of Kampala. We're talking about Masaka Road, we're talking about Gayaza Road, we're talking about Mitiana Road that leads to Fort Portal, the only tourism city in this country, and I'm proud to say that is where I actually come from. So you can buy land anywhere in that regard, because Praise Property Consultant got you in that dimension. Now remember, the office is at KCCA Market, that is Wandegea, room 128, second floor, or you can call them. The number is 0706 147 006, or you can call them on their MTN. It is 0783 821918. That is Praise Property Consultants for you. Now let's delve into the stories that have been making rounds in Uganda and the rest of the world. Maybe let me start off with what is happening in Ghana. Now, the leader of opposition in this country, Mr. Mathias Mpuga, he is in Ghana, that is Accra, trying to find out how legislation and how politics is played in that particular region of the African continent. Remember, Ghana is located in the western part of Africa, and it is one of Africa's most prestigious countries, if I may say, because they were the first country to attain independence in 1957. Now, over time, Ghana has developed in terms of infrastructure, in terms of the political dimensions. They've changed leaders. We've had leaders of Ghana being changed literally every 2 terms. That means there is a democracy that has been forged in that particular West African state, the Gold Coast. So when you look at that, it is in that regard that Mr. Mathias Mpuga was there actually, and he met the leader of opposition, he met the speaker of their parliament, and he met a lot of dignitaries and said that Uganda should actually borrow a leaf from Ghana, saying that Ghana has the same numbers, approximately the same numbers of MPs for the opposition and the leading government, and they have learned to thrive in a politics that does not, engage in fighting every time, but looking for a way that they can build their country, Ghana. So Mr. Mathias Mpuga is there, and NUP has been represented, and of course Uganda has been represented by a gentleman like himself, Mr. Mathias Mpuga. Now let me come back here at home in Uganda. Let me start off with bomb blasts that were experienced in Semuto, that is Nakaseke district, and Kasese. Now, we are not yet sure if these are bombs, because the police has not actually come out to clarify and say that these are bombs, or this is a type of bomb or something like that, or it is an attack or anything. But yesterday, there was an explosion that claimed 2 lives of people in Kasese, and it's the same story that happened in Nakaseke. Remember, Nakaseke, it's not the first time they are having these blasts. They had a couple of blasts, I think, last month. Now it has reiterated again. In the last month, 2 children died on spot, and there are some others who went with a bit of injuries. Now it has happened again after just a spell of 1 month. What is happening in the rural areas of this country? Because as the security, you actually need to be held accountable at the end of the day, because it is your job to secure all Ugandans and their property, because that is the mandate of the security organs in this country. So That is what is happening right there in Nakaseke. That is why we're saying, Banange, be conscious. Do not just, accept anybody to come through without checking them. I've been reiterating this on every platform I am at, saying that we need to actually wake up as a community to start policing ourselves, to start making sure that we protect our loved ones at the end of the day. Now, that is what was happening in Nakaseke and Kasese like that. As the police gives us the detail, of course, we shall keep you updated. We shall be telling you exactly where these bombs come from and how they are actually, being manufactured, and what else or what should Ugandans actually know about their protection. Now, at just 12 minutes past the top of the hour, allow me to talk about Miss Shamim Malende. Now, Shamim Malende was here on the Mighty Drive. That was last year. And of course, she is the woman representative of, a woman member of parliament of Kampala district. She is Shamim Malende. And of course, she's the defender of Mr. Segirinya and Mr. Sewanyana, who have been charged with a lot of cases of abating terrorism and cases of terrorism itself. Now, that is Shamim Malende for you. Now, Shamim Malende has come out to say that her life is under fear because some people want her dead, or they are threatening to actually put her out. Now, Shamim Malende was reiterating this at court case of Mr. Segirinya and Sewanyana, where Mr. Segirinya was not able to attend, but of course Sewanyana was there, and he was also not looking like he is in good shape. Now, Miss Shamim Malende came out to reiterate that her life is under threat, and so the court should actually do something about it. Remember, she says there are some members okay, I'm not going to specify, but she says there are some members who are threatening her, saying if she does not quit the case of Mr. Segirinya and Sewanyana, her life will actually be lost. Now, she was calling maybe for the judge and the judiciary to actually look through these things and make sure that they can find a way of helping her at the end of the day. This is the Mighty Drive Show. My name is Edgar Matthew Karang, and as I've told you, we are having Mr. Augustine Ojobile. Augustine Ojobile is the spokesperson of the SWAM in the People's Front for Transition, PFT, the newly formed pressure group that is seeking to host President Museveni before 2026. Is this achievable? That is a question that Mr. Rogers will be posing to Mr. Ojobile to make sure he brings us to light about PFT. PFT is an interesting entity that I've been following over time, and I'm following their steps to see what exactly are they going to achieve by 2026, because what they say, by 2026, President Yoweri Kaguta Tibuhaburwa Museveni will not be the president or the reigning president of this country. Now, police has arrested the goons that you saw in a video that circulated while we were still in lockdown, when panga-wielding goons were traversing some parts of Nabweru in Nansana municipality. Now, if you remember, these goons were captured by a camera, and I think they were scared when they had an alarm go, so they actually had to run away, and some people were making sirens and making sure that they call on to help. Now, these goons were like 18 numbers. They are all carrying machetes, and I would not imagine if you met these gentlemen. In fact, they are not gentlemen. These goons, let me reiterate the same word. If you met them at that time, what they would actually do to you, because it felt like these people were ready for blood. They were all wielding pangas, and police has said after 3 months of intense investigations, they've actually arrested all of them. Kudos to the police of this country. Today we are proud of you. In fact, every day we are proud of you, just that sometimes you overdo it. But saying thank you so much for arresting such people. It is things like this that build the trust between the people again. Build the trust between the institution, between the security operatives, and of course the individuals. So thank you so much. These panga-wielding goons were arrested, and they will be charged in front of courts of law to make sure that justice actually prevails. Now, doctors have reiterated the fact that if intern doctors are not given the salary rise that they deserve, that means they are also going to be joining the struggle. They're saying now that if the intern doctors are the doctors that actually are always close to the patients. Now, if these people put down the guns or their arms, that means they are not. That means there is a problem. There's going to be a shortage of doctors in hospitals. That means lives are actually going to be dying at the end of the day. Now, that is something we don't want as a country, so it is high time for the government to actually maybe have dialogue with the intern doctors to make sure that we forge maybe an understanding of how best we can move forward. Maybe if it's not giving them the 2.5 million that they want, but there's something that you can give them that can actually make them maybe calm down and have a consensus at the end of the day. Now, that's the biggest challenge right now. The doctors have said if intern doctors continue to be on strike, that means there are various patients that are going to die. And maybe the supervisors of these intern doctors, that means they will also have to take up or to put down their working gear. That means it is going to culminate into people stopping to work, and that means people's lives right now are at risk, and that means at a line, and that is not what we expect as a country, Uganda, today. Now, the doctors have reiterated that, please. And they said this through their association. It's called the Uganda Medical Association. Their president was the one who was reiterating these remarks. Now, I think as we come to the close of this particular segment, that is the Mighty Global News Updates, let's talk about COSASE. As I've told you, as I think on Monday, I told you about the locomotives that were purchased at 48 billion shillings and actually cannot work in Uganda. That means as a country, we made a loss of 48 billion. Now, according to the people who are going to procure, according to the government, they had reiterated that the Uganda Railway Corporation actually buy locomotives that are 6-year-old. We bought 8-year-olds at 48 billion. Now, they had directed that we procure locomotives that are 6 years old. That is the first thing. And then these 6-year-old locomotives were costing 36 billion. Now, we bought, the rhetoric, the paradox is, we bought 8-year-old locomotives at 48 billion. That means we bought older and more expensive, and we left fresher and cheaper. I think you're looking at that narrative, and Mr. Joel Senyonyi, the chairperson of this committee, would not accept this and made sure that the procurement officer who procured those locomotives be sent or be handed over to police. Now, police is the one that is having this gentleman and is going to make more inquiries. Why do you leave a cheaper and newer locomotive for a more expensive and older locomotive? That is Uganda for you. These are things that we look at and we wonder, how will our country develop if we are still doing these things as a community? Now, I think let me finish with the crocodiles that are ravaging the people of Buvuma. Abantu be Buvuma, the islands, bali mukugamba bannange. Gonya zibali bubi. Nkozi mujukira kale akalanka gamba gonya ziri aki. Kati gonya ziri abantu era basabye era MP waabwe omwami Robert Migadde agambi banne babayambeko gonya zibafukide gonya Buvuma Islands. You should visit Buvuma Islands one time. Mukose Arnold Anthony told me it is a very, very good and exotic place to enjoy. But you shouldn't visit it right now because there are crocodiles and you won't actually survive if you are in such areas right about now. Thank you so much for watching the Mighty Global News Updates. Mr. Ojobile is here, Roger Sturawe is here, and of course the princess is here. It's time we're going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, the discussion continues, though I will not be on this discussion tonight. Good morning.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Nze omubejjalu wedde Lilian mbaniriza maka gaffe amajja era nga wano wetugenda okuba nga tukolera programu yaffe emanyiddwa nga The Voltage. The Voltage gaba masannyalaze gennyini era nga twogera ku bintu ebyenjawulo omwo nno mwe muli ebigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga, ensonga z'ebyobufuzi n'obukulembeze bw'eggwanga Uganda, twogera ku nsonga ez'abavubuka, eddembe ly'obuntu awamu n'ebyenkulaakulana. Togisubwa buli lunaku olwokutaano eba ssaawa emu ey'akawungeezi paka ssaawa 3 ez'ekiro.
The Diaspora Link buli lwakuna sawa 11 paka sawa emu eyoreggulo ye program gye tukuleetedde wano ku Alternative Digital Uganda. Tugenda batutunulira embeera z'Abannayuganda baganda baffe bannyinaffe zibawangaliramu mu mawanga ag'ebunaayira. Bangi banyigirizibwa, bangi bakosebwa, bangi bayisiddwamu amaaso. Naye tugenda batutunulira engeri gye tusobola okulongosaamu embeera zaabwe. Tugenda kuba tulaba abo abakwatibwako abateekeddwa okuba nga balongoosa embeera zino eno. Tosubwa buli lwakuna n'omuweerezaawo Nixon Segawa.
Hello everyone, my name is Abdulatif and I welcome you to the Hotline Show here at the Alternative Dig Talk as we discuss issues of national importance. Join us every Monday 7 to 9 p.m. and see who will be occupying these seats here with us. Keep it Dig Talk, real issues, real talk.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Digital. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Digital. Digital, the way to go.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You're very welcome to the Mighty Drive today. It's a Thursday and it's a new day. We hope that you get out there and find one about the we welcome you. My name is Roger Yahweh and with me is Ojobile Augustine, the one and only Gomusingo Kwagala, and with us is a very nice guest, Mr. Augustine Ojobile, who is the spokesperson of the SWAM, PFT. I think that is the youth wing of the pressure group. He's going to be telling us what the SWAM first of all is, but before we get to that, good morning, Lillian. Please introduce yourself for the guests.
Good morning, Rogers. How are you?
Very well. You're welcome to Dan. You look so smart.
Thank you. Good morning, viewers out there. This is the Mighty Drive. I am Princess Lillian. Kansokenzera mu lulimi Oluganda nga sinaba kulemera nnyo mu Luzungu. Nyini bwe tugenda okuba nga ate tutandikira programu yaffe olwaleero gwe alina ekibuuzo genda tutereevu ku Facebook page yaffe The Alternative Uganda wekiteekeyo mu comment section oba oli awo ate omugenyi gwe tulina mu studios ajja kubanga tuddamu. Wano wennyini wengenda okuba nga ate musaba alamuse ku batulaba tutandikirawo programu yaffe oba oli awo byonna ate bye munaaba mwetaaga okuba nga muwulira mugenda kubanga mubimanya olwaleero. Mwami Ojobile.
Yes.
Tusanyusa okukulaba.
Kale nnyo.
Alamusa kuba tulaba.
Nsiimye nnyo okubeera ku mukutu gwa The Alternative Digital. Era ntwala omukisa guno okwebaza abagize nga bagoberera omukutu guno ku social media. Era mbasaba nammwe mugende mu maaso nga musharinga comments ne posts zino abantu ab'enjawulo basobole okutegeera nti kino kigendera ddala mu maaso. Muweereze invites abantu basobole okutegeera nti waliwo ekigenda mu maaso, oba munno omukooneko omugambe nti waliwo ensonga eziri mu kwogerwa ku The Alternative Digital buli ku makya buli lwaggulo, kuba zino ensonga zikwata ku ffe tiimu esingira ddala okuba n'obuzibu mu ggwanga muno abavubuka. Amannya Ojobile Augustine, nga nze omwogezi wa PFT era wingi yennyini ey'abavubuka. Naye kye mulina okutegeera kiri nti tewali nnyo kyanjawulo kyogenda kwogera kiruma abavubuka mu Uganda nga tekiruma jjajjaawo. Kuba ffenna tugenda mu ddwaliro lye limu. So ne bwe mba ndi mu ndi mu wingi ey'abavubuka ensonga zino nzogerera ddala ng'Omunayuganda era gwe zikwatako okuviira ddala ewaka paka yonna yonna gyemalira obudde bwange emisana.
Munnayuganda yali etaze okumanya mwami Ojobile yaani ng'oggyeko ono gwe tuwulidde ng'atunnyonnyola kati ye spokesperson wa PFT SWAM.
Ojobile alina background empanvuko weewaawo ekibuuzo kyo simanyi wawe kyagala ntandikire
mu bufunze
naye
background eyo empanvu
naye mu bufunze nyiza okwogera ku bintu nga 2 oba 3. Ekisooka kiri nti Ojobile ye abadde mu mbeera ey'okulwanira eddembe ly'obuntu okuviira ddala ndowooza nga nkyasoma banatuuka n'ofunako kye bayita indefinite suspension nga nze nali head prefect w'essomero era mu mateeka agaalimu nze baali tebasobola kungoba. Mu kiseera ekyo abasomesa baatuula gye baatuula ne baleeta ekiteeso eky'okubanga basobola okuwa abaana ebibuuzo ku Manda ate ng'essomero lyali lya day and boarding. Abaana ne basalawo ne bagaana edda tetugenda kukola ki kukikkiriza. Tulimu abadde bagenda kujja bamanyi tugenda kukola bya bulijjo kuyingira kibiina kusomesebwa. Naye ate bano olwedde bataddeyo bibuuzo. Kintu ekiri very unfair. Era nange we bakintuusaako ng'omukulembeze waabwe nenkiraba nga kikola ki nga kituufu. Ne mbaga kati mumanyi mugende mu maaso mukole enteekateeka yonna nze nja kubeera mabega wammwe. Era abaana bwe baakola bye baakola ne ntuuka n'okubagamba kati embeera eno weetuuse ndowooza muwandike n'ebbaluwa ekakasa nti kituufu ensonga eno mukola ki mugiwagira naye temuteekako mannya gammwe.
Olwokutya
anti nga bagenda nga nkimanyi bulungi nnyo administration esobola otandika abantu 2 3 ababadde ku bbaluwa beba bakola ki beba bagenda. So naye era tekyagaana ebyo byonna we byaggwa ku makya bakeera kufuna listi y'abantu abakikulemberamu nekindaga nti waliwo omwe yali atukoleramu naye nga atulyamu buli so we nakiraba ne ngamba kati wano etteeka lino ndimanyi bulungi nnyo likkiriza omukulembeze w'essomero okukola byonna byakola naye tagobebwa yasobola ofuna suspension n'akomawo n'akola ebibuuzo. Kati abantu bano abanna baali basazeewo babagobe nze nenvaayo neewaayo ne ngamba nedda ebyo byonna byonna ebyabaddewo nze yakoze eki nze yabikulembeddemu abantu abo mukole ki mubeesonyiwe. Abantu baali bana mikwano gyange nnyo paka leero bo nembawo nnyo okola ki okugobebwa kuba twali mu senior 6 kitegeeza omwaka gwali gwali gugenda kufa. Nze nensalawo neneewaayo era nenzira ewaka taata namugamba munaye byabaddewo naye kati ndi waka ngenda kusomera waka naye nja kuddayo nkola ebibuuzo. Agamba kale gwe yasazeewo namunyumiza buli kimu era paka leero anenyumirizaamu ku lwekyo era amaana agamba nali simanyi ng'olimu ekyobuntu bwotyo. Taata wange kennyini kuba we nakulira nali muvubuka wa fujjo nnyo. Efujjo eryo ye yali asuubira ngenda kusiga nga ndi wa fujjo. So embeera eyo yamulagalaga nti ono omusajja alabika ayina ekkubo lyakutte.
Kwegamba activism yalimu kuva mu ssomero.
Eyo ne tuvaayo nemba nga ate nenzija nenfuukako omukulembeze w'abavubuka ejjinja awo saidi z'ewalukuba naye nali ku university nga nsoma naye ng'eri ndi kansala. So embeera waliwo eyatuukawo nze nga siri nayo. Abantu baamala mu area yange kumpi emyezi abamu nga bamaze emyezi 2 abamu 3 mwezi gumu nga tebakola ki tebalina mazzi clean water fresh water nga gagenda naye nga administration yaffe nga bwe mumanyi abakulembeze abasinga basuula bwannagamba tebafaayo ku mbeera z'abantu. Nze nve eno ku university nina ebinzijeeyo nga nzizeeyo waka ntuuka baŋŋamba omanyi ebintu bino gwe wali mukulembeze waffe wano wadde okyali muto naye ebintu bino ogenda bikolako otya ate biki ate tulina mazzi amba so nembabuuza ki kye mwakolawo nga mmwe abatuuze
bwe mwakitegeera nti
tewali mazzi ki kye mwakolawo era ne baŋŋamba twagenze wa kyamaani n'atusuubiza bigenda tugende wagundi ne tuwandika ebbaluwa lere ne ŋŋamba okay nange ngenda kugezesa ebbaluwa eyange kuba ffe olw'okuba tuli mu enkola eyaffe yanjawulomukko nange ngenda kuwandika bbaluwa n'ebbaluwa yange nagiwandikira electoral commission nagiwandikira National Water and Sewage Corporation nembawo ennaku meka nembagamba mu nnaku 5 nagamba mu nnaku 5 abantu baba tebafunye mazzi tugenda kujja mu ofiisi awo otuulaawo ffenna tukozesa ago amazzi tulabe oba ganaatumala nkulayirira mu nnaku 2
baali batuuse
mu nnaku ezi 2 amazzi gaali weegali naye nga nze nawandika bbaluwa n'okuteekateeka abantu naye sibateeseteese nga tebalina nakibamanyi bantu nga 5 be nali njogeddemu nabaawo neŋŋamba nene kati nange kampandika ebbaluwa eyange
tulabe oba eyange nasobola
n'ekisinga okwewuunyisa kiri kintu kimu nti bwe baamala ogazzaako ne bajja ne bankubira akasimu nga bali ku poliisi nga baagala bansibe nti ono mwami ali mu kuleeta kavuyo ebbaluwa yange we nagiwandikira DPC RDC nembawako kopi bameeya bonna ejinja yonna nempaako media nempaako buli omu nagamba mu nnaku ezi era ensonga yafuuka contentious abamu ne batandika n'obuuza ebiseera ebyo waliyo pupu demonstration mu South Africa pupu demonstration abantu bakwata obubi bwabwe ne babusiba mu kaveera ne bagenda ne babukasukira abakulembeze nga babalanga olw'obutayola kasasiro so habuuza namwe kye mugenda okola nimbagamba ekyaffe mutulinde saagala ku preemptinga kye mukola ki kye mwandibadde mulaba so olunaku olwo lwe nakola lwe bakomyawo amazzi ate ne bagenda ku poliisi DPC ow'ekiseera ekyo naye yali musajja mugezi yabagamba nedda ono akola mulimu gwe namwe mukole ogwammwe waba agambye teri mazzi ate mwe mugamba gyegali mugende ku ground mukebere kumbe baagataddeko nze nga simanyi ne mbagamba ate kirina buzibu tukole ki gende tukebere batandika nabagamba mwe ababa balonda waawe mutandikira nze sigenda balaga muyinza ogamba abantu nabategese bwebatuuka baatuuka ne basumula nga amazzi gajja obwongo ne buneesiba ne ŋŋamba naye omugezi kikyokola obagamba mubabuuza amazzi ago gakomyewo ddi era kitutte ebbanga ki nga tebalina mazzi awo we banyambira ne babuuza amazzi gakomyewo ddi ffe twakedde ku makya nga kwegali galuddewo nga tegaliiko nti ye bbanga ki eyasooka yali wa weeks meka yo yali wa weeks 3 nga tugende ku wokubiri nga naye gakoze eki gakomyewo mubuuza bbanga ki oyo yali wa myezi 2 nagamba tugenda ku wokusatu oyo ate bakuba surprise agamba myezi 3 kitundu agamba tubiveeko tukole ki
tebagenda naye kati mwami Ojobile wabeerera omukulembeze wali mu kibiina kyo ba wali tolina kibiina kyonna kyewenyigira
naliwo FDC naliwo FDC mu 2011 era nali nkikiira ekitundu kye bayita Walukuwa Masse Division so naliwo FDC era nali muvubuka
mu bibiina byonna lwaki wasalawo FDC noleka NRM oba oliawo
kuba okuviira ddala ku ssomero nze mbadde mukulembeze naye we nali mu senior 1 to senior 4 ndowooza tusaakosa nnyo bibiina kuba nali mu UID mu youth wing ya UID nga ngezaako okutegeera obukulembeze nga bansomesa era nenyumiriza nnyo omwami gwe bayita Muyanga Simon Lutaya. Simon Muyanga Lutaya yanyamba nnyo okulaba nga azuula obukulembeze obundimu kuba ye muntu nali nkola byange nga ndi muto nnyo nga sitegeera naye obukulembeze ndowooza nali mbulina naye nga nkola byange naye we natuuka mu senior 5 awe nesimbirawo ku tiketi yaffe eya FDC naye nga ate nali nteekeddwa okwesimbirawo ku ya DP ebiseera ebyo.
Mu ssomero waliyo ebibiina nga bano bali mu kibiina
ffe twali a bit kuba nali Kiira it was a bit open nga tebabifaako nnyo ebyo oba oli weefudisa oba oli waki nga tebabifaako bo kyebaagala kiri kintu kimu osobola otuula ali n'osoma ebitabo n'oyita nga bo baagala results ebisigadde tebibakwatako kuba bamanyi obviously toyina time yakuleeta rale ku ssomero obviously ojja kujja nawe oyingira ekibiina oveewo olweggulo so baali bagezi anyway. I think I appreciate them. Era Headmaster Serwanga, I appreciate your role in that. Yafaayo nnyo okuleka abantu bakole bye basobola naye ng'akimanyi bulungi nnyo ajja kuwa timetable ey'okusoma gw'osigale ng'osoma ebyo ebirala obikola mu holiday oba weekend ng'osazeewo ofulume ogende bweru w'essomero. So Muyanga yankwatako mu senior 5 awo n'atandika okuntambuza nga ntwala mu conferences ez'enjawulo ez'obukulembeze n'agamba kati mpandikira minutes bwati bwe yakola agamba mpandikira minutes ezo buli kye bagenda okwogera mu conference muno gwagenda okola ki okukiwandiika ate omala ompe brief kati nga nina oconcentrating nga ntegeere buli kye boogedde bakyogedde batya
bakirese batya.
It was challenging but I loved it. Ebiseera ebimu nawuliranga n'obusungu kuba nange nali mbeera njega ngendeko mu photo moments biki ebyo era nga tosobola olina okuwandiika kino kyekyabadde ebintu ng'ebyo kati actually paka leero I'm not that person who loves photos kati kuba kati kyankuliramu
olina okuba ng'owandiika
mbeera mukulembeze nempandiika oba nentuula ali nenetegeeza buli ekigenda mu maaso so somehow ya groominga ekintu ekyokuwuliriza ennyo okusinga okubeera ali nga so somehow I do a lot of listening mu biseera ebisinga mu bukulembeze bwange era ojja kwewuunya mukosa enkoze nnyo naye ono munnammwe nkoze nnyo naye era ajja kubuulira nti ebiseera byange bisinga nyiza osirika n'oyogera by'oyagala nze nga nkola ki ndi mukuwuliriza era nenkuwa ekigambo kyange ate sikivaako bwe mba nkugambye ekigambo kyange kyembeerako kiba kyekyo
okuvaako from your high school.
So from there obukulembeze obwo biki obw'abavubuka nenzijja and kati awo we najoiningira ekisinde ekyaffe ekya the Jobless Brotherhood mu 2014 era twakitandika ne mukulu Noman ne Mayanja then netwegatirwako abalala awo bangi wetutyo mpola netugenda nga tuzimba obukulembeze obwo era ebintu byali byabavubuka ensonga zaali z'abavubuka ate nga omanyi tetwagala nnyo kintu kyagamba nti bavubuka kuba ensonga ezo zikwata ku buli omu we bakwata ssente z'omuwi w'omusolo ne bazibba nga bino bye mubadde mwogerako ono update ze muli mu kutuwa obuwumbi 48 obwaguze ekintu ekiri irrelevant and useless to Uganda. So who is concerned? Who is to blame? Obviously, wotandika onoonya who is to blame. It will zero back to Mr. Museveni kuba he is the one. He is the appointing officer. No, let me tell you one thing. No, let me tell you. The reason why kigenda eyo kiri kintu kimu nti omuntu woba gwe appointing officer you have powers to disappoint. You have powers also to make sure that omuntu abye sente ezo zikomawo kuba babeera bakuwadde quotations ani akola quotations ezo You see, it is bigger than what we just see. Oliaze n'agamba, oh, 48 billion zibaguze ekintu ekikadde. Ani akiquoting? It comes from that end. Quotation, twagala ekintu bwe kiti, kika kino, mwaka bwe guti, kigenda kukola kino. How do you tell me nti eyo nayo natuvuddeyo ne tujja ne tumalira wano at purchase? Kubeyo process mpanvu.
It's a process, but sometimes here is a problem. That you find leaders are in offices, sometimes who actually are inexperienced. And I don't know, personally, I don't think it's true that the president appoints every person who is in every office. So sometimes, even when someone is incompetent, another person is the cause of that, and they are going to misuse the offices. But the public is going to look at the big picture, and they are going to look at the president as well.
Just as I've told you, why we actually focus on him so much? Nti n'amateeka gennyini agayina okuyamba abantu abo okulekeraawo okukola ebintu ebyo naye kennyini yali ayimiriddeko ku TV oba ku mikutu egy'enjawulo egy'amawulire ng'agamba abantu abo mbasonyiwe. So someone has stolen money and he has consumed it on behalf of the public. You, the single person, you're saying abantu abo kola ki? Tubaleke. So what will the rest do? It's normal. It's something normal. So owagadde mbadde nvaayo eri.
As you conclude that part, what is the SWAM first of all?
Yeah, because I wanted to give you who I am. Otegeere Ojobile bulungi. So we tuvaawo mpola mpola tuzze. At the moment nkola ne FDC era ku kitebe awo wennyini. I have nina offices bbiri. Sooka nze Ssaabawandiisi wa Electoral Commission, so managing electoral affairs mu kibiina kyaffe kya FDC. Era kati saa zino nkolanga deputy cao ow'ekibiina kya FDC. So somehow ndowooza awo wentambulira mu bintu bya bukulembeze somehow and activism bwentyo bwentambula, but basically I am in human rights. Era awo wabeerawo ekiriwo kindeeta.
Human rights and politics.
There I'm around. I'm present. So nali wa mukisa even in my absentia. Because if you are covering bintu bino live at the launch, yes, I was following online. I be covering a live. Saliwo. Ne nali wa mukisa okulaba nga bakola ki? Bandowoozaako in absentia even. Aga nti Ojobile, you will speak on our behalf. Ne bankubira akasimu ne ngamba okkiriza. Bagamba I have no problem. Just speaking, I will speak.
That's what you have always done.
I've done that, I've acted, and so if it is just speaking. So basically SWAM is the youth wing of the bigger People's Front. Basically the People's Front has issues that must be addressed. Many people are asking contradicting questions on whether it is a comparison now with the other engagements that have always come up. You see, we must be cautious with issues dealing with the concerning humanity. That when you have a big tree, while cutting it down, I don't think you just come and push it.
You don't.
Once. Yeah. Even if you have an axe, you don't cut once and it is done. You don't know. But each cut
is a step.
Is a damage on that tree. Each cut is a damage on that tree. So many people think maybe whatever has been done has not impacted on Mr. Museveni's governance. There are those who say, actually, he's even stronger than when you people started. But it's because you are not informed.
But well, some people...
Yeah, it's because you're not informed. But when you go deep down and look at everything as it is, you begin with the education sector, you come to the economy, you come to health, you come to even leadership itself. You come to leadership itself. You will begin looking at the quality of leaders. He is getting the quality. When you look at the quality of health, quality of education, you realize that we are moving in a downward
curve.
So that
but
curve...
But he's not the one who elects the MPs.
Now, let me tell you one thing. Election of an MP is part of how governance works. Okay? That if you want to understand why you have such MPs, you will come to understand it when you read the economy of the country. That at a level where I have the capacity to facilitate an election, I will win, even if I'm a P2 dropout. So for you who knows what to do, because you're broke, people will never vote for you.
Indeed. If you don't have money,
so the elections and the quality of leadership is also determinant on the resources of the leaders. And
so I can only tell you that is a small hint of why you have such leaders. That today you are not voting, you're not having these leaders because they deserve to be there, but because you were influenced by what they have. However, PFT, the front has come out in a different mechanism. You see, media has done a bad thing to the opposition leaders and to basically show that they don't have an agenda. Yet the same
do they have an agenda?
Yet the same media houses appear at the launch of various manifestos.
Yes.
So you cannot tell me you come and capture my manifesto for 3 hours. I'm reading to you. On health, this is what I'm going to do. On
education, this is what I'm going to do.
This is what I'm going to do. Then you end up and say,
they don't have a...
They don't have a... Why did you spend all the 3 hours?
I want in that same lane, they were saying that a certain individual who is a senior citizen in this country said that Besigye has always had a plan, but he has always lacked a strategy. And every day, even at the launch of the agenda, you would see that everything that's in the agenda is towards the time when the government is being transferred to the other side. But we don't have how to get to that. So when someone comes up and says they don't have an agenda, what the people of Uganda would wish to see is that we want to remove a dictator. How do we do that? Not what we are going to do after we do that. For now, at least, let's focus on how do we get to that.
You see, one thing is that go and understand how these revolutions work. You are either in non-violence or you are in violence.
Yes.
One of the two. So when you decide to go violent, it's a quicker way. But what are the gains? Because the reality is, in Uganda, we have never had any change peacefully. We have not received a president handing over power from the other, apart from maybe Museveni handing over to Tibuhaburwa. I think it is the first change we had. Because Museveni handed over to Museveni handed over to Tibuhaburwa. Have you ever seen Tibuhaburwa on any of them? Apart from of the 2021. So he handed over to Tibuhaburwa. And maybe he would say that was the first that he has ever handed over power, and he will say to Tibuhaburwa. But also, if you read his thesis when he was at the University of Dar es Salaam, Tibuhaburwa was there. His thesis did not actually include one of the names. It was Yoweri T. Museveni. So Kaguta was not there in the thesis. So I don't know. You know, this is a man who is so amorphous. You can't understand him very well. So during that time, he wrote this his thesis, and there's one name which was missing. Now, he comes here as a president, that name is included, and Tibuhaburwa, which was in the thesis, is missing. So you need to understand who this man is. So this is where the background comes from. So Mr. Museveni is so amorphous. So we have never handed over power peacefully. And this time round, we as the people in the front will continue preaching this gospel that we want peaceful, not just peaceful, but we want transition to occur. Okay, we want transition to take place. That these are the processes of a transition. That when you want a better leadership and governance in this country, there must be that process to enable everyone feel like is a Ugandan. Okay, not others not others becoming more Ugandan than others. So this is the background in which we are coming from. That people might say this has taken long, but the fruits are better than the other quicker.
1 year.
Yeah, okay? Because we could easily pick the guns. Because the guns are everywhere. We have brothers and sisters in the army. We could easily tell them, please,
Are you going to use the same tactic?
tukolereyo ka plan fe tujje tufune mundu tutandikirawo. But that is not a solution. It will not really bring what we want as a country. Because we feel that Uganda as a country, we have gone through that so much. So we need something different. It takes long, but it's better.
Don't you think it's because the opposition is not united?
Yeah, that can be a challenge, but it can't be a weakness. It is a challenge that, because for me I'm in FDC, but I have been working, if you've watched us closely, maybe Mukose might be knowing this very well, one of your colleagues there. He might be knowing this very well, that I've worked with the DP, I've worked with UPC, I've worked even with some youths in the NRM who are very positive.
When you were in FDC?
When I'm in FDC.
And then nope?
Nope is something new of last year, and I've been working with some of them who have been in DP and now they're in Nope. And one of my colleagues has been arrested on fake allegations. Vigirwa, he's my friend, and we work as members of change seekers. So this is what we do. So I can be the other side, you be the other side, but as long as our focus is that Mr. Museveni should be leaving power soon, because the farther he takes us, the situation becomes worse. Okay? At the moment as we are speaking, I want to bring back your attention to what is going on. Look at education. What exactly is the intention of Mr. Museveni to appoint the wife as the Minister of Education?
But someone would say that if someone qualifies, they have probably...
Does she qualify?
Well, that's a question you need to ask Museveni.
She doesn't. She doesn't qualify.
She does.
Because she did not do the internship for education, so she has never graduated. So she has never graduated. She did not do the internship. And in the university, if you went to the university and you know that you got that certificate as a graduate, the fact is that you must have gone through an internship. It's like a health of a personnel telling you that I am a doctor, but has never gone for that 1 full year, because for them it's a whole year of internship. Yours is just about 2-3 months. For them it is a whole year. So if you've never gone for that, never call yourself a doctor.
All right, those are the words of Mr. Augustine Ojobile. We are going to go in for a short commercial break. But when we come back, we want him to tell us, first of all, what they intend to achieve as a PFT. They have the goal, they have it in grasp, but how do we get to that? We have also a number of people saying that Mr. Besigye, who is the chairman of the front, is trying to look for some relevance and is also putting himself as the patriot of the country who is definitely going to lead to liberation. And we have had those issues over time in the opposition of everyone wants to do something, and then the others are looking on the opposite side of what he's doing and a bad side at that. So we're going to go in for a short commercial break. In the second hour, you'll have the opportunity to call in and ask a question to Ojobile. And by the way, there are some rumors about divisions in the FDC, about the other side, the side of the mainstream FDC and the side of BCJ. Some people allege that there is some kind of divisionism at that. We will also hear from him. And a number of other issues that will be coming up. And those of you who are live, watching us live, please put your comments in the comment section live on Facebook, or you can call in. Omombeja will read us the numbers as we come back. Let's go for a short commercial break.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
You have got to get up pretty early to go do something. We are the Alternative Dig Talk. With our mobile studios, we are redefining TV presentation just as technology is setting the pace. We are blending our approach with fresh, perspectively designed breakfast show, The Mighty Drive, informative and entertainment show, exclusive and live interviews.
President Museveni wadde juzi namulaba apima akawunga kilo 2 tasobola kalya nini bwaba alya kilo 5 oyannema okuliisa eggwanga ne bwe limundekera.
Njagala kwebaza the Alternative Dig Talk etuwadde kano ka Mighty Drive era n'abatuwuliriza bonna abali ku mikutu njagala basaba mugendo maaso n'okuwuliriza.
All given to you just a click away on your phone, tablet, laptop, and smart TVs. As we are streaming live on our social media platforms, on the road and on the go. We are the Alternative Dig Talk.
Jembadde itaita nsanza abasajja nga bagamba lwaki bala batukula Farida lwaki mukula abasajja omusajja baba tebamukudde asanyuka busanyusi n'akuwa ssente kati bw'alaba nga tafunye kyayagala n'alowooza mbu wamukudde aba yazikuwadde oba tewamukudde.
Okay, Lydian, lwaki mwagala abasajja abakulu?
Nabo batwagala naye fetubagala lwakuba tutegekera future.
Okay, tutegekera future wakiise. For more insightful topics, yes, keep it the Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk. Remember, Snap Talk airs every Saturday right from 6 to 7 with your girl Teddy Tenjo, but I never come alone. I come with the two beautiful girls.
Lilian Luwede, the princess.
Meanwhile, we have a new home. I'm super excited. What do you think of our new home, Farida?
I love it.
Lydian?
I just love everything.
Yes, let's keep it the Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
The program gy'oli mu kulaba tuli mu ssaawa yaffe ey'okubiri nze Omumbejja Luwedde Lilian andi ne munnange Rogers tuli ahabwe awamu n'omugenyi waffe omwami Augustine Ojobile. Tukyagenda mu maaso n'okuba nga tugayagaya mu nsonga era nga ono ye mwogezi wa PFT SWAM oba ate oludda olw'abavubuka bwe tutuuka mu kisinde kino ekipya ekya People's Front for Transition. Osobola okuba nga ate otukubirako obutereevu mu studios ng'oyita ku namba zino ez'essimu wammanga 0789017145 oba 0759132310 ezo namba zaffe ezosobola okuba nga ate otukubirako obutereevu mu studios obuze omwami Augustine ekibuuzo ate abeerenga naawe akuddamu butereevu. Tukyagenda mu maaso era nga twogera ku nsonga oba oli awo ate ez'abavubuka mu kisinde kino ekipya bo abavubuka balina nteekateeka ki eri abavubuka ate munnange gwe omuvubuka ali eyo ayagala okuba nga obeegattako osobole okuba nga ate omanya ebintu bino wammanga naawe osobole okuba nga obeegattako oba oli awo bwonaaba nga owulidde okuva ew'omwogezi yennyini mwami Ojobile abavubuka mulina nteekateeka ki gye mubakoledde nga PFT?
Neeyanza nnyo era nga ekibiina oba ekisinde ekya the front oludda olw'abavubuka ekisookera ddala tugenda tandika kye tuyita mobilization drives okugendera ddala mu institutions tugenda kubanga turecruitinga abantu tetuli ba recruitinga kwesimbawo kino njagala tukole tubeere very specific tetuli ku recruiting abantu kwesimbawo kuba twakizudde akalulu kano kabeera determined by embeera ebeera already circumstances ezitali advantageous eri omuntu yenna ng'ali mu struggle kuba abantu ebayingira mu bululu obwo bamaane bava ku mulamwa kyova olaba ba MP abasinga bemumanyi nga abaali ba activists abasinga bamaane bava ku agenda y'okulaba nga struggle eno tugiggusa abasinga we bafuuka bakansala mu abalaba emabegaawo bafuuka kizibu kyennyini
naye abamu beegatta ku bisinde bino ebijjo oba oliawo nga nabo balina ensonga zaabwe ng'abantu nti ayagala wakiri atuuke naye afune ku kifo
ekyo tekina there is no doubt about that era tumanyi buli omu ng'azaaliddwa abeerayo n'ekiruubirirwa buli omu naye twagala common agenda yeba superseding ebisigadde kuba fena we tukuŋŋaana nga tuzze nga mwajja okukavaringa launch buli avudde mu launch eyo avaawo n'adda ewaka olina okubeerayo ne bw'olabirira so that is a fact nti buli omu abeerako neki so as the youth tugenda tandika mobilization drives tugende mu maaso ng'abantu tukola ki tuba mobilizinga. Then the second aspect in that kiri nti wetumala okikola ekyo tujja kuyingira mu session gye tuyita training and creating awareness mu nsonga zino eziruma abannayuganda. Wekimala okuggwa ekyo obviously kye mulina okumanya kiri nti mu struggle mulimu stages 3. Esooka yeya awareness eyokubiri nga mutandika okweteekateeka nga abakulembeze
gye bayita
organization then stage eyokusatu emutuukira ku kye bayita action gye twogerako kiri kintu kimu twagala nabagambye dda it is civil tetwagala kola kintu kyonna ekiri violent because ekyo mwakirabako mu biseera byawo okutuwaaka abaaliwo ebiseera ebyo mwakiraba nti we try to demonstrate the same. We did not fight back. Batukuba n'amasasi abamu, but we did not at any one point batulaba nga tulwana n'omupoliisi kuba twali tulina capacity tukukwata omupoliisi n'omupa ekikonde naye n'agweri noga tetugenda mu angle. So this is what we want to do. We want to be civil in nature naye nga we must overwhelm the dictator and that is our plan. So we are in that 3-phased kind of structure. Twagagenda tusooke tuba identifying then we empower them with ideas, and then within themselves they will create leadership, not us creating leadership. No, within themselves gojategera nti ono yasobola otukulembera.
Because we have seen, you see, in some countries, I'll give a case study of South Africa to be specific. The ANC,
Yes.
it has had the youth league from way back, I think, about 1944. Those are the people that have for some reason, driven change here and there. They even lobbied for the election of this gentleman, Gobaka Jacob Zuma, in 2009.
Yes.
They were behind, they rallied behind
Yes.
them. Front, Wadi, and I think, I want to put it to FDC. I would think FDC would have its own, but Front is not FDC, that is what you tell us.
Yes.
So Front has one. In our youth league, Jogamat, there are these structures, and this is how we intend to push collectively with the mainstream Front to be able to achieve certain objectives.
It's a youth wing, not a youth structure. These are two different things. Kuba tuina wing ey'abavubuka, kuba ensonga zino abavubuka we banaalaba abazeeyi bokka nga be bazoogera kuba bayinza okulooza tezibakwatako. Kati kwe kusalawo ne tugaa nti kuba nze mu mainstream, yes, wadde ndi muvubuka, naye mu mainstream naliyo ng'ebintu bino bigenda mu maaso. Ffe bennyini ne tugamba naye mukakasa nga olulimi mwe lwe mwogera luli olwa you see luli you speaking that big ebigambo ebinene ebyo weewaawo abamu tusobola okubitegeera naye abasinga ku bannayuganda bayinza obutabitegeera kati tulina okugonzaamu olulimi tube nga twogerera ddala olulimi luli olw'abantu lwe basinga okutegeera kuba omuvubuka ali erratic ti kigudde waani awo wennyini tutandike weewo wali eriwo something like that. So kati embeera ng'eyo tosobola gisindikamu abazeeyi okola ki weewaawo weebali balina okubeerawo batuyambe okutegeera history y'eggwanga n'okubawa strategically ideologically kiki ekyetaagisa ng'eggwanga. Then nammwe abavubuka kuba you offer 72% of the total population of this country are young. Kati kitegeeza you have the biggest role to play mu revolution yonna ebegenda okutuukawo. So webanga gwe the biggest stakeholder ate nga gwe ali emabega then in brief you are doing the contrary to what you must have done. Okay, kakati tukijjukire nti abavubuka abali mu Uganda we are the majority but behaving like the minority. Okay, so why do we behave like the minority? It's because tweyambula responsibility netugikwasa bali kubanze siraba nsonga lwaki nze I will be so open siraba nsonga lwaki tulonda youth MP.
Everyone should be a youth. Every MP should be a
youth.
Julia,
why should we continue with this? That youth MP for what?
I think waliyo bane minister mubaka wa achikira.
Era wali mbachikira bavubuka. So you see how you continue marginalizing us even ideologically, psychologically.
Aren't we marginalized?
For me, I'm not. I can't even go now into those things. So I am not. For me, I'm not. But there is a crisis in this country that everyone is crippled now. Okay? Crippled economically, crippled academically. Abana bakula basirusiru because bali stante okuva buto tebalya mmere bulungi. Abana bakula tebalya mmere. So they are stunted. You might think that being stunted is a height. But the moment you fail to eat the reasonable quantity and type of food while you're young, even your reasoning is affected. So by the time you grow, that's how you reason. Kyenadde nkugamba nti n'obukulembeze obuliwo we natandika ntandikidde jasu kasente kana abantu abalina sente be bakola ki, but it is far back. It is a recurrent problem that you have to put so many things together to have a better country. There are so many things that are lacking. So as a country we must be aware of these problems and rise up to solve them. We don't have to wait for America, no. Because when America comes in, obviously you lose. Because for them, they will come with the force. They will not come with the dialogue. For what?
Of course.
Naye mwami Ojobile bw'otunuulira people power we yagira yakuŋŋaanya abavubuka bayitirivu. Ne otunuulira kati PFT engeri gyezze nti oba oliawo abavubuka abamu tebannaba kubanga bagyegattako. So mugenda convincinga muti abavubuka because abavubuka okubeegattako bwe kiba nti chairman wa PFT oba oliawo atesse muvubuka.
Okay. Kakati kyembadde nkugamba nti olaba Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela was in prison for 26 years. But the revolution was moving on. You see, that is the spirit we want people to have. Nti tutegeere waliwo omuntu ategeera what the revolution must be. Okay? Nti ye okukitegeera tekitegeeza nti yalina kivuga. You see, this is the way we got issues with many of these people. That bo balowooza ti Besigye waavaayo n'ayogera ku nsonga abeera akyogeddeko nga mukulembeze. Abeera akyogerako ng'omunnauganda. And that must be respected as a Ugandan. Kuba he was abused, insulted, blackmailed as someone who does not want to contest. Era agala okulemesa enkyukakyuka. And he stepped aside. He said, for me, actually, even in 2016, I did not want to contest. But there was a reason, a core reason, which many people did not understand. But he came because they said that you can use also an election as a process, as the other side of the front too. Yeah, but we are wasting a lot of money on that. In elections. So in 2016, yalitaga kwesimbawo. So bano abavubuka we bajja mu 2017, they started from there, insulting and abusing. But for him, he did not respond. That's the beauty with him. Actually, I want to copy from him. He has that courage. He never responds. The man is too patient with life that he can. I respect him really for that. That even if you insulted him to what capacity, he will read these things. When you sit with him in meetings, he will tell you that I saw this, I saw this, I saw this. But what is the value for me to respond? That is not what we are fighting for. Our bigger goal is somewhere. So the challenge with the current situation is that people, whenever you see Besigye around, you think he must be a leader. So he comes to offer guidance in most cases. And you remember when this PFT was beginning, actually all stakeholders were called. The first impression was that, okay, Mr. Bobby Wine, kindly take over the leadership. Yes, that was the first impression given. Please, Bobby Wine, take over the leadership.
Of PFT?
Yes, all of us will be behind you. And we push for this. Because the agenda is we want to make sure Ugandans are liberated even before the next election. So, Bobby Wine declined. So when he declines, it does not really make you stumble or stop proceeding, because you don't know why he has refused. Till today, he has never given any reason. So you give him an opportunity, maybe he will join in the future. But that is it. So the youth, the youth who joined People Power the other time, maybe you will again say maybe they were also in FDC. And they felt now they wanted someone who was going into an election and was giving them that hope that elections can perform, elections can do it. So, but now this time we are speaking a different language, saying that elections are really not going to deliver us to State House. Elections, no. No. You cannot have.
naye ate engeri y'okuggyako omukulembeze of course tuba tulina kuyita mu kalulu oba mpozi nga nammwe mwagala kuyingira nsiko.
Mbadde njagala kubuuza on that same issue. Ordinarily, election is a foundation for every democratic order.
Yes.
And we see you people, the PFT and FDC as a whole, there's come up that whole idea of elections are not going to save us. How are we going to get to that when a biggest element of this kind of order is being sidelined?
You see, somehow you can use the elections to excite the population.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to remove Mr. Museveni, you cannot remove him using elections. You can only excite the population and win some few seats as members of parliament, district chairpersons, councillors, but you can never beat him.
But then it becomes an issue because when you have a structure as grounded, you have councillors who are in opposition, you have MPs, maybe the majority in parliament, somehow it is easy to influence decisions on the high decision-making table. But then when that is put aside, you've let the elections, all of them, to him, and the people are obviously going to overwhelmingly vote for them. And he will say democratically, I'm doing my business. Because people like me.
Do you know that all the cities in 2021, the results did not reach Electoral Commission?
What exactly are you trying to ochagala tugana nti bwami byabakama byali asoma byali birala?
Nedda agenda kuwa result eziva mu bitundu oli ye gyawangulidde mpola mpola. Naawe gy'owangulidde naye ng'omukubyeko karenji katono amala akukavalinge. Naye awali populations ennene kati nga Kampala Wakiso, ogende Jinja, ogende mu bitundu by'Embalala, ogende Lira, ogende Gulu, Arua, ezo results tezituuka. Just because of one reason. That when you go in the rural areas, yes, he will win here and there, you also win few of them, then they will portray that you won in this district by about 10,000 votes, then he goes and beats you somewhere with about 200,000 votes. He has covered that and is even ahead. Then you go somewhere and win him by about also 52,000 votes. Then he goes somewhere, he beats you by 30,000. So you can see when you look at the variations, then where you were supposed to actually beat him completely, hands down, these cities and towns which are highly populated, they don't bring those ones. And that is exactly still what happened in Kampala and Wakiso, specifically Kampala in 2016. Nothing. No kujja okulonda batandika saawa 8 naye nga okuggalawo okulonda saawa 10. So in 2 hours you expect 3 million Ugandans to vote. You can't. So even the few who voted, Mr. Museveni made sure that they never counted them. So this is how an election works in Uganda.
but would it be a better, like, I don't know, I think it would achieve better results if, for example, we said that because you're trying to rally people to do, I think, maybe civil disobedience or something like that, if that is the approach, how about you also put election on the side as a part of the idea and be like, we can have a few of these people this side, and then we can have the masses informed about their rights and what is being taken away from them.
You see, even when you're talking of informing the masses about their rights, you should be cognizant that we have also been stopped from even sitting in radio stations that are away from town. Because they know we want to inform those people of the challenges the country is going through. So this is, you're dealing with what we call complete dictatorship. Complete. It's a complete dictatorship. Even when you're thinking of these the elections as ways of portraying democracy, you need to understand that an election is not a ceremony. That tomorrow we are going to sing. So even not even a ceremony. A ceremony, you also have some planning meetings, and you must book those who are going to offer services. It is not like how can I call it? An election is a process. that we begin from voters register, then update, then cleaning, and all that. You saw Norbert Mao. In 2016, he was not a voter. But in 2011, he was a presidential candidate. Where did his name go?
It disappeared.
How? A former presidential candidate? And in the next election, his name is not on the register? You see, these are things you need to look at critically.
Naye mwami Ojobile, waliwo ebigambibwa nti retired Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye oba awo ekintu kino ayagala kukifunamu nga yayagala kudda ku ssiini.
Ekibuuzo ekyo nakizeemu naye era nja kuddamu nti Besigye ye takyetaaga kwesimbawo era tolimulaba ku ballot, toliddamu mulaba ku ballot, toliddamu kuba yali takyagala okuva 2016 yali taagala kudda kuba yalangirira wemba mujjukira bulungi we twali mu 2016 waliwo okubba akalulu ke akabana Uganda basically kuba be balonda n'agenda mu kooti n'erangirira nti obululu bwakwatibwamu era akalulu kabadde kasaana kuddibwamu. Weewaawo abantu baali babiri, abalamuzi baali babiri, okwali ne Justice Kanehamba abagamba akalulu kano kabadde kasaana kola ki kuddibwamu. Era abasatu bo ne bagamba tekagenda kuddibwamu. Okuva ku olwo Besigye n'alangira ntajja kuddayo mu kooti, agenda sigala ng'akola n'abantu. So mu 2011 ne tugenda mu kalulu, we tuva mu kalulu ako Besigye era n'amaani yeekuba mutima n'agamba mumanyi akalulu kalabika tekagenda kukola. Kuba he is a focused man, he is a great thinker, era singa ofuna omukisa n'onyumyamuuko naye. This is someone who thinks so far. Era ebintu byasiiba ayogerako ebiseera ebisinga muzze mu biraba. Tibino byonna byonna ebizze bibeerawo mu 96 wofuna ku bantu abaali batuula nabo ebiseera ebyo. Yalaba ebyali bigenda mu maaso n'abagamba mumanyi tulina otandika olugendo olw'ekutula ku Mwami Museveni kuba ekkubo lyakute si ttuufu. That is 1996. 97 n'atandika process ekola ki eva mu NRA movement okwetongola abaveemu. Awo we yatuuliza meeting ez'abamugisha muntu bano bamanya Mushega ne bano baani Bidandi Sali n'abalala basobole okubanga bavaawo bakole ki bagende bamuleke oba bamuggyeko nga bukyali kuba yali agenda kutyobola kitiibwa kyabwe nga bantu abaava mu nsiko nga balina kye baali balwanirira. Bano bonna agaane twakakola constitution omusajja ono zino taamu 2 twazitaddewo tajja kusukkawo emyaka gino 10 afuga 2 akole ki aveewo obuyinza tukole ki tubukwasa abantu. Besigye kwe kubagamba mulaba omusajja ono olaba twali mu nsiko wali eri ng'amasasi gatuyitako etu ne tuteekawo ebbanga ery'obukulembeze bwe twali tulina okufugirako nga tuli mu masasi. Ssaawa zino ng'asula mu sofa omusuubira okutuula akuwulirize nga gw'olabika okola ki tomwagala bwagazi omuyinako mpalana gamba kale mujja kiraba. And what happened? Mu 2004 bakwata milioni 5 ne baziwa ba MP bajjeko tamu zepi era Museveni n'abanga akoze. So he's a great thinker. This is someone who takes time n'atunuulira embeera gy'eraga. Era we baamala okuggyako akawaayira akalaga nti omuntu alina fugira bisanja 2. Era message ye endala empya nejja n'etandika n'agamba mulaba kati ebigenda maaso. Mwami Museveni tagenda kuwaayo buyinza olw'okuba ali kuzimba project eya Muhoozi He started that in 2006 mu campaigns. N'agamba mulaba kino kye yakoze we munaamukiriza okuyitawo wano. Kati tagenda kuviirako ddala agenda kuzimbira ddala projekiti ya muhooze ya mutabani we. Balabike nga be bakola ki? Gwawo obuyinza. Sejjusa abamumanyi yavaayo n'avuma Besigye n'amufuula ekitagasa. Abantu nabo ne bamuwagira. Agamba ekituufu mwena mwali b'amagye kakati oli munnamagye muno yakoze eki?
Yakikoze.
Waayitawo emyaka emeka ng'ate Sejjusa mwennyini yakyogera. So this is Besigye. Waayita ebbanga ndooza lyali ya myaka esatu. I remember Sejjusa ndooza 2009. I will recollect my knowledge, my history. Naye nga waayitawo myaka ng'esatu Sejjusa kennyini n'adduka mu magye n'afulumako n'ebweru n'agenda mu exile. Yekomyawo tebamukomyawo. Yekomyawo ng'alaba embeera eby'enzibuwala. So that is Besigye. He's someone who looks at things far and says no. Kati mu 2011 eri yonna yonna nzize nga njagala kulaga ebyakalulu. Mu 2011 we yava mu kalulu ka 2011 we yagambira n'agamba the way I see things akalulu tekagenda nnyo kuyamba kola ki?
Nakoma mu 2016.
Anti ndikulaga mu 2011 we yakyogerera n'agamba akalulu tekagenda kuyamba kujjako mwami Museveni. And now what we need to do is to build abantu tutandika okubalaga nti you can civically engage the regime. And era awo wennyini we yasinzira n'awaayo obuyinza bwe FDC mu 2012 na resigning obwa president n'agamba asijja kumalayo taamu yange mugende maaso nga mutambuza ekibiina nange ngende mbeereko n'engeri gye ngatta abantu bajje basobole okulwanira obuyinza bwabwe. So this is how things happen. Nakwata abaddipi Kyovola Lukwago ndaba banamboze bona baali wano ne bano ba Mike Mabike yali nabo
awo nyine mu bufu bwe mu mwami Ojobile wenjagalira okubuuza kiki kigenda maaso mu wakati wa FDC ne PFT waliwo ebigambe bantu waliwo FDC yawuddemu waliwo ekibinja kya mwami Besigye ne wabaawo n'ekibinja ekyasigalidde ddala mu kibiina kyennyini buzibu kiki kigenda maaso?
No, FDC esigalanga FDC. PFTC ya FDC. Actually, idea yote yali ya FDC. FDC just bought the idea kuba it was in line with what we were.
Na atakulira chairman wa PFT wa FDC. Yes. No amumyuka naye wa FDC. Kati
ekyo kyali nga bwe nkugambye baali baagala ekintu ekyo kibenga kikulemberwa Bobi Wine. Yali agenda okideputizinga yandibadde abeera omu kwabo abali awo abakulembeze naye we yadeclininga bano bennyini ne beenoonyamu obukulembeze kwe kulabanga era baaziroyinga ku Dr. Kanokiza Besigye. Besigye is the founder member of the party and is the founding president of FDC. Naye ate saawa zino talina bukulembeze mu FDC. He's just a member. Just maybe is a delegate kuba ye mobilizer wa Rukunjiri ku structures zaffe ku district. So this is how the party is democratic. The founder president wamwe.
Naye ina se yamanyi nnyo mu kibiina nti wayogera ensonga eba oboli awo abamuwuliriza baba bangi.
Kakati kyoba omanya that is how a revolution is. That wabeerawo abantu ab'enjawulo nti abantu babawuliriza. Ti waba ayogedde ti abantu bafaayo nnyo okutega amatu bategeere biki byayogedde era kitegeeza ki. Kyova olaba abantu abamu balowooza mbu waliwo divisions olw'okuba ye founder president ali eri ate neeno mu pate aliyo nga memba kati abamu bagamba n'ogamba mbu kakati oyo agenda kujjawo FDC bakole ekibiina ekirala.
Mukulu Ojobile, as that happens, kati fe abantu abo balabira eno aba following FDC as a party. For example, I subscribe to FDC. I'm saying in case I subscribe to FDC. I'm one person who is looking at FDC as a whole party and as a collective. If he wakes up one day, he says, I am going to leave the party now, I'm leaving it to you, and I'm going to do something different as an individual. And then we have the Mafavis who are saying that FDC should be ours, and against the front we have the Salamo Sumbas and Banova Nyono. No, you are the opposition leader. No, this is gentleman. You get a new parliament. Those are the people that people look at as the face of FDC, and the people that are not actually embracing the strategy of change that is being fronted by the FDC. Divisions in the party. Does that move us as a country?
Kakati chemba mmanya nti we mutunulia ne membership ya PFT, I think majority bali ba FDC. Yeah. Wakati munatera n'okumbuuza ndowooza nti lwaki tetulaba Asumani basalirwa ngate mutuula ku headquarters ze kakati. So Asumani basalirwa teyandibakiriza kutuula ku kitebe kye singa tali part of this arrangement. Kuba tekisoboka really. So but people are engaged. Basalirwa ali mu mirimu gya parliament ali bweru. So ojja kuwulira omuntu lwaki omuntu oyo kakati. So that is how things happen. Kati FDC abantu abo bemwogerako nandala Mafabi is a child of the struggle. Singa mumanyi nti alina n'amasasi bamukubako amasasi mu bululu bwe nga ali ne Beatrice Wabudeya bamukuba amasasi nga baagala alabike nga agenda mu ddwaliro eno basobola okubba obululu naye yasibako obusibi bandage n'esasi ne balijjamu n'asigala mu field nga wenyegera. So that is how determined our leaders are. Nti waba alina kyaliko until it is done tekikola ki takivaako. So abantu boogeddeko ndoza I think party president ya signing on behalf of the party, and you know FDC tekola kintu just from nowhere. This issue came to the National Executive Committee of the party, and the founding president was invited to come and address the National Executive Committee of what was going on. So this is how the party operates. Abantu kyobola batebategeera ko dala FDC.
Ekifaananyi kye mutuwa oboolya.
Nedda kuba ffe kakati engeri gye tukolamu ebyaffe byawukana ne ku byabalala. Abalala batuula gye batudde ne bagamba kino. Ne for us we go through a process. Abasinga kye batatera nnyo kukwetegereza kuba katunuulira bye tukola. Twayita founding president ne tumugamba jangu onnyonnyole abantu bano abatudde wano ku biki bye mugenda okukola. Era Nkulu Besigye n'ajja ne ttiimu ye yonna ne bajja ne bannyonnyola pate nga bino bye tugenda okukola kino bino na bino na bino na bino bitutwalawa tutuukayo tutya era bwe bityo. So yajja n'annyonnyola. So these are internal managements of the party. Kakati wetufuluma eno era ne kiresolvingibwa ti party egenda kutambulira ku mbeera meka biri. It will be with the issue of the civil line, then ebeere n'eno party ya organization of the party. Kyova olaba last week tubadde mu Eastern nga political party nga tugezaako okuzuukusa structures zaffe nga wetufuna ne report ku byava mu kalulu kyekyaliwo byatambula bitya ye lwaki byaliwo abaafa nga baali mu structures zaffe bali bameka twagaa tubategeere kuba tugenda zimba structures empya from next year. So bwetutyo ebintu ffe tutambula kati weekend eno yennyini people's front ebadde mu Western and you saw the party president was part tenga neno mwamulaba yaliyo kati party FDC
olowooza mutagenda kubika munne nti PFT bwe nayiti mu Kenya egenda kubika FDC because bw'otunulira abantu abasinga mu PFT they are part of FDC as well.
No, you see okuyitimuka tekigasa nga Museveni akyaliwo. The sole value of this whole thing kyakulaba nga mwami Museveni akola ki avaako because we want that peaceful change okuyitimuka ennyo genda mu kalulu muwangule ebifo tuze tuwangule ebifo tubifunyeemu ki at a certain point we got disappointed with our own MPs abali mu opposition we twali tusuula obubizi twasiigako obumu blue and green
ateje mwali
okiwulira blue and green because we were disappointed with them embeera gye baali beeyisaamu nga balaga nti nabo bajoyiniza ate tebo y'abali abasazeewo okulumya eggwanga so this is how we look at these processes so FDC jasiganga ekola byayo kuba kati I am the spokesperson ow'abavubuka chairperson ow'abavubuka ali mu jema nkola naye nowabeerayo aba DP betukola nabo so this is kati wekinayite mukato ogenda gambo obikiridde
mwami Ojobile mukola na DP yennyini oba DP block
nkugambye member wa DP you see abantu kye batatera kwagala kukkiriza kiri ekintu kimu nti abantu abamu bali dishonest ja kuwandika ebbaluwa wano naye nga ate withholdinze ba members nti buli kyakola akikolanga ye but we have over 10 DP members with us over 10 working with us
naye ekiri mu opposition buli omu ayagala creating ewe ekyo kati bw'otunulira mu DP waliwo DP and then ne wabeerawo ne DP block na oba oliawo ne mu FDC tunatera okulaba FDC nga waliwo FDC nayo block
ekyo mu FDC ndowooza temujja kiraba kuba singa kyali kyakubeerawo kyandibadde kyatuukawo dda I don't think mujja kufuna contention eringa eyaliwoko mu kalulu ka Mugisha Muntu ne Besigye
naye ate kati kyekiringa kyetulaba nti waliwo FDC and then waliwo ne PFT
CFDC
ne beeyawulayawulamu
anti CFDC PFT nkugambye it is a amalgamation of different political parties and even civil society actually waliwo n'abebibiina abanakyewa abakyegattamu ne bafuuka bamemba ng'ate bo nabo mu bukulembeze mwebali mulimu bannaddiini so togenda kunga nti munaddiini agenda kuva ku kyokubuulira enjiri ajja atandika okukola emirimu gya pate kyova olaba somehow omuntu akugamba nti nze siri wa NUP nendi wa people power because he believes in a civil organization like that one not a political party kuba political party ebeeranga organization nti olina okubeerako n'emitendera gy'otambuliramu okubaako n'emirimu gy'okola ki gy'ogusa so that is how things work so fenge eno mu FDC abantu basobola okujja ne bagenda mu bye bakola because for us we don't grant authority kati gwe genda demonstrating it is upon you osobola okulowooza ku kintu n'ogamba kati ensonga eno etunyigiriza
waliwo ebibuuzo ebibadde byebuuzibwa nga Uganda beebuuza nti munaasobola okumalako nga temwegatiddwako NUP oba oliawo ANT awamu ne DP yennyini etali DP
kyemba mumanya ebyo ebintu biri mu mannya nti ANT NUP those are when you list the names it will look so big naye ate individuals abantu mutima bo bawulira enkyukakyuka bagyetaaga ekiwulira so gwe ne bw'oba ogamba nti sigenda kwegatta nga NUP naye bamembers bo oyinza obutaba stoppinga kwegatta see that's the challenge nti you cannot stop members from joining a civil group at their wish because obeera nga agamba kati nze alina okubawa permission okugenda okukola bye mulina okukola ate eyo level Munnayuganda wegimutuusaako kiba kitegeeza ogenda omuzizaayo ku mbeera ya Museveni nti ye talina kwerowooleza gwalina omulowoleza talina kwekolera gwalina omukolera olina kwetika ssente ozimuleetere mu kifo ky'okumuteerawo wayinza okujja ssente so this is what we want to avoid tifenga abali mu PFT transition tulowooza nti it's best nga abantu benyini bagyekulembedde. So it is not upon Besigye nga emulowooza, because Besigye in the first place yali taagala leadership eyo, naye yali willing of offering a guidance. Nga bwe teyali Minister of Health, teyali Secretary of Health, naye yavangayo ku nsonga za COVID n'awa guidance, n'agamba bannaye kino kye kirina okukolebwa, kino kye kirina okukolebwa, kino kye kirina okukolebwa. That is him. He's so passionate about Uganda as a country. So bw'atyo bw'akola emirimu gye. And even this yali ready okuofaringa guidance naye nga si yakola ki, si yali waggulu wali eri, naye olw'okuba vacuum eyo yaliwo, he had to feel it. And that is it everywhere. Ne mu lutalo buli omu wemubeera mu layini yamuwe muti wabeerawo buli omu aka gye bamuwaga, buli mulaba ayingira mu layini eno gwokola ki, gwokuba. Kati gwe bakuba amasasi ne gakuyitirirako n'otya n'osituka n'odduka emisinde ng'odda emabega, kitegeeza layini esigala erimu vacuum. So ne mmajje abantu abagamba feel that vacuum immediately ng'omulabe tanabbasemberera, kuba vacuum eyo esigalawo, kitegeeza eyo omuntu ebeera opportunity y'abali abatambulira mu aka eyo kubatuukako, ate mwenna abeera agenda kukola ki, kubajjawo. So that is it. If in the army it can work, why not here in the civil arrangement?
Mbadde nja kubuuza ne ku nsonga okwogera ku the whole transition issue. We seem to be okay, at least some of us think that we are being soft on the dictator, as you put him. Because omusajja gwe tuli okulwanyisa oba gwe muli okulwanyisa is a person who stood in broad daylight and said, I came by a gun and I'll probably go by one. Nagamba bw'oba oteekako tapini okozesa nnyondo n'okugijjamu okozesa nnyondo. So are we not going soft? Are we using the right strategies to actually host this dictator?
Actually, you're using the best strategy for Ugandans.
How is it the best?
You're using the best strategies for Ugandans because, as I've told you, the moment you go violent, yes, you can achieve as soon as possible, like he did 5 years, nafuna kyayagala. But the resultant effects of this is what we are now talking about. Today as a country would have been maybe far better. Because I keep telling people, now you see in 1986, when Museveni came in power, we had 12 million Ugandans. About 12 million Ugandans, and each person who was in Makerere or who left Makerere would live with a job. Yeah, ready. Many of them would even get jobs while they were in their first year or second year. And that happened not because jobs were in abundance. No. It happened because the former leaderships were planning for their population. So they knew every year we are having this birth rate. So we must create jobs in this capacity and in this number. So what has happened today? That we have a total number of about 44 million Ugandans, but about out of every 10 Ugandans, 7 are unemployed.
Yes.
Okay? That makes it about 70% of the Ugandans.
Actually, statistics, I think from 2 years ago, they said about 78%.
Okay? So these are Ugandans who are languishing because of one thing, leadership. And many people don't want to understand this. They think that people are just lazy. No, people are not lazy.
Is indeed a problem of our education system. If you look at the curriculum and then
you see,
each and everything.
You see, it is not that. You see, we love going to the education system. You mean the Chinese who are studying, who are doing everything from China and all that, you mean for them they are not progressing?
It's alleged that in Uganda, if you look at our education system, they're teaching or they're training job seekers instead of job creators.
Now, this is the problem. It is not just that. That is part of the bigger problem. Okay? You see, education is one of the best civil ways of making a country progress. It's one of the best civil ways to make a country progress, because it's upon your knowledge that you can create wealth. So it is knowledge that we are impacting in education. It's not even wealth, but the moment you have the knowledge, you can do everything. So when we are talking of these other things, that whoever left Makerere had a job, it is because governments were planning continuously. They were making sure that whoever comes has something to put in their pocket. Our parents tell us they used to get books, they used to get pocket money from government. So you want to tell me there was too much money then?
There was.
Okay.
If anything, the economy and the GDP was low, lower than it is now.
GDP was low, and today it is very high. However, I keep telling my colleagues, it is the problem of leadership. That when you have such kind of leadership, which does not actually think of the development of human resource, it does not think of empowerment of the human resource. It does not focus on building capacities of its country, then you are having a problem. Okay? So as a country, this is where we must focus and give a lot of time. That we need this change. And the most important thing in having this change is that the people can regain their freedoms to do whatever they want, to do the kind of jobs they would want, and to also benefit from the national cake as a whole, not as others are benefiting for you are sleeping hungry. Today, as we are speaking, Salim Saleh owns almost a half of Uganda. You go to every district, he has the property. Every district, each district in this country, Salim Saleh has some property.
Is that factual?
You can go make your research. For me, I move this country every day, every month. Every month I am at least somewhere. In just about 4 days, I have been in 7 districts. Every district you reach to, there is something they show you for Salim Saleh. This Salim Saleh sent our people here. So you imagine, for him, what job is that man is doing that is giving him all that asset? Okay?
He's not even a civil servant.
So he's not a civil servant. You may not even say, even if he's a businessman, how much was his capital?
And what business anyway, exactly?
Okay, well, how much was his capital? So these are things we look at and we say the country is in a downward movement. Okay,
crisis.
Because when it is your son who is heading the army, then it is your brother who must look at who are the poor. Then it is him to manage the poor. Then it is your wife who must manage the education sector. Then it is your in-laws who must manage the microfinance. You see, the microfinance and the airways. So this kind of making Uganda look like it is a family dynasty. Okay?
Mwami Ojobile ndoza nga tugenda kuwunzika. Show yaffe olwaliro njagala kuyitaayita mu comments. Naye waliwo ekibuuzo ekizze mu inbox yange. Olwo omuntu omu agambye nti PFT wine mukadde naye ate bagezaako kumuteeka mu ccupa empya alabike ng'omupya naye ng'era asigala mukadde.
Ekyo okusinziira ndowooza that should be also okusinziira ku structures embuze muteekawo before. There has been other, people's government, a number of those kind of structures have been put in place before and they have failed. So how different is PFT if it's not oba kyekiri kyokka just twafunyeyo linnya ppya ne tugenda maaso?
Mwali mubaddeko awo ne muwulira nti omuti gwagudde naye nga tebaagutemye. Mulowooza ogwo omuti gukeera bukeezi ku makya ne gugwa.
Nedda gusokanga kuvunda mirandira oba
mpola mpola wabeerawo ekikola ki ekigulya nekigunafuya kati mwe mugenda ne mulaba embuyaga olujja lumu nga emiti gyagudde naye nga mwe mulowooza omuyaga gwe gwakoze eki gwe gwagusudde omuti ogwo naye nga walwaddewo ekigenda mu maaso n'omuti ogwo era omuntu asoma ebyettaka ne baba bayita batya is it aphronologists abantu basoma bibira na biki ebyo somehow wajja n'atunuulira omuti ogwo ajja kugamba waliwo ekiwuka ekyagulya myaka ndowooza nga 10 emabega kyandika ogunafuya webiti paka omuyaga we gwaze ne gukola ki negusula. So this is what happens with the struggle, that abantu batunuulira nnyo ti mwaleeta kino nekigaana naye the resultant effect ku mwami Museveni kyolwaliro kyemulaba nti talina na ssente mu ekonomi ye mwavu nnyo ekisukkulumye
mwami Ojobile kasaise mu comments nga tetunaba kuwunzika. Priva Kachi agambye well put Ojobile. Kawes Benon agambye following up. Shan Kawesa kwali nnyo omwami Ibrahim Ketari agambye live from Nairobi. Ibrahim, thank you so much for watching. Abdul Latif naye kwali agambye alaba. Christopher Buko yagambye this channel was paid to promote Besigye. I have watched and analyzed it every day and concluded. Mwami Christopher ndoza atotagana we tukukyaza oba oli awo naawe atojja kutuyambako kupromoting ekikyo tulaba ate gwe ideologies ki oba oli awo zokkiririzaamu. Shan Kawesa agambye Ojobile you class above. Andrew Tusima agamba wrong interpretation. PFT is a new wine in a new bottle that is already to squeeze out dictatorship from Uganda. Thanks for the show. And those adiddemu ddala ku kyennyini kyetuva okwogerako. Shan Kawesa agamba information is power. Thanks Ojobile. Andrew Tusime, thanks Augustine Ojobile the teacher. The front is unstoppable. Mwami tumuhimbisa Norman kwali. Mchala Farida Bikobile kwali nnyo. Innocent Inabiona, thanks for the show. I'm watching live from Rengo. No mwami Jeremiah Mchibe basinga ndoza adde basiima busiimi okuba nti mwami Ojobile tukukyaziza.
Ndoza nga tukonkludinga ku nsonga ezo kubanga oyogedde nnyo ku kyokuba nti oba ogera ku bavubuka you say that what affects the youth affects every other person in the population. But I think, if I'm quoting you right, you also said that young people are the biggest stakeholders in this country. And so they should just as much be a part of the decision, involved and in the decision making. I want you to give those young people a message that is going to ready them, to be able to know that they are as equal stakeholders as every other person that is in the struggle, and tell them what they need to do, because the liberation of the country is especially beneficial to them than those who are in this, leading the struggle right now.
You see, the people listening to me and watching me, wherever you are, you need to understand that a country where we have the biggest number of people living in it as young is having an advantage that it has a future. That future is either built on a strong foundation, and it will help you also to nurture your grandkids, or you will build it on a very poor foundation and it will get destroyed with you, as you may never get an opportunity to see your grandkids blossom in a better state. You need to understand that in Sudan, the greatest dictator, Bashir, was overthrown by a young girl who was just 21 years. She spearheaded the revolution, but it did not begin with her. So this is what we always tell people, that you just accept that some people can lead you, but do the real leadership yourself, that these ones will offer you guidance. Because this girl who was 21, Bashir had led them for 27 years, 28 years. It means this girl was born when Bashir had already taken over leadership. 7 years back. So this girl comes up and overthrows him and leads a revolution. These same things have happened. We had Thomas Sankara led a very serious revolution, and he was also young. When you look at all this, we had Kasavuvu in the ancient Congo. These were young people. He was 28. We had Haile Selassie in Ethiopia. He was a very prominent leader, very young. He was enthroned into power at 19 years, but he's the greatest leader. He even fought these colonials. Actually, it was the only country which was not colonized, but though it was colonized for about 3 months.
As a concluding,
and they fought and regained it back. So this kind of situation in Uganda is not different from these other countries. Though we are different countries, we do different things. So you, the people there, you have the opportunity to make your name count in this whole thing. It is not about Besigye, it is not about Mukaku, it is not about Mabike, it is not about these other people. It's about a country called Uganda. Besigye and the rest, just as I am here, I'm only offering what we call guidance. But the biggest chunk of work, we must do it together out there. Thank you very much.
Mwami Ojobile, njagala zile mkalika statement. You have the opportunity to make your name count.
Yes.
Sigenda kubanga nyongerezaako yadde ekigambo n'ekimu ku byayogedde byonna byayogedde ndoza mbiwulidde mwebale nnyo mwenna ababaddeko kuva gye twatandikidde paka wano tugenda okubanga ate tuwunzikira show yaffe y'olunaku luno olwaleero. Nze Omumbejja Luwedde Lilian nkoze ne munnange Rogers tuli awe era nga omugenyi waffe abadde Mwami Augustine Ojobile. Abadde ku kamera ye Mwami Mukose Arnold Anthony, ate nga mu control room wabaddeyo omukyala Tenjo Teddy. Abadde director waffe ye Mwami Jeremiah Chibi era nga Edgar Matthew Karuhanga ate oba oliawo yasoose unatuwa Mighty Global News Updates. Wano tugenda okubanga ate tusiibulira tusinkane olunaku lw'ekyo Mulangira Nakibinge wali nnyo ku Mighty Drive ate temusibwa ne voltage olwaleero temusibwa diaspora link sawa zigenda kuba 10 mpaka sawa mu yakawungezi. Olunaku olw'ekyo Mulangira Nakibinge wali nnyo ku Mighty Drive sawa mpaka sawa 3 ate oba oliawo n'olweggulo voltage gyeri nnyo sawa mu yakawungezi mpaka sawa 3 ezetiro. Mbere bulungi. Muera.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.